Hello, everyone. This is Ryohei Onishi, and this is Understanding the SDGs, an interpreter's take. So this is the first video. Welcome to my course. Let's learn about the SDGs. But today, this is the first video. So let's talk about what came before the SDGs. Before SDGs, what did we have? Let's talk about this. So this is the table of contents for today's presentation. First, I will talk about when the SDGs appeared. Next, I will talk about what the MDGs are. Next, I will talk about United Nations conferences. Next, I will talk about MDGs and SDGs. And finally, I will talk about the message of this video. Okay? I hope you can learn a lot from this video. Let's start. So, when did SDGs appear? This is the first question. The answer is 2015. SDGs appeared in 2015, so it's 7 years ago. 7 years ago. But this question, next question is, what came before the SDGs? What came before 2015? Okay, so the answer to the first question is 2015. Let's talk about what came before the SDGs. The answer is the MDGs. MDGs. Do you know what MDGs are? Actually, MDGs are Millennium Development Goals. Millennium Development Goals. So M is for millennium. Do you know millennium? Millennium is about 2000. So MDGs were made in 2001. I'm sorry, this is a mistake. 2001. So in 2001, these MDGs were made. Why did we create MDGs? Because we have problems in the world. We had to solve these problems. And MDGs had 8 goals, not 17 goals in SDGs. So this is a logo of MDGs. Can you imagine these goals? I think number 1 is very easy. It's about hunger. I think number 2 is also easy. It's about education. Number 3 is also easy. It's about gender, right? So, like this, we have 8 goals. But not all the goals were achieved in MDGs. So we have some homework for MDGs. So we had to work on achieving these goals. That's why SDGs were made. But before the MDGs and SDGs were made, there were conferences or meetings in the United Nations, or UN for short, UN. Do you know the United Nations? So they were made in 1945, and United Nations has held conferences many times. For example, in 1972, United Nations held a conference on the human environment in Stockholm. This is in Sweden. In 1987, a person from Norway issued a report called Brundtland Report. And this is a report that mentioned sustainable development for the first time. So sustainable development starts from 1987. So sustainable development is about 35 years old. And 5 years later, in 1992, the United Nations held a conference as Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. 3 years later, COP started. Do you know COP? This is another meeting, conference by the United Nations. And in 1997, COP3, the third COP conference, was held in Kyoto, Japan. This is the photo of COP3. I think I was about 11 years old when COP3 was held. And in 2015, COP21 was held in Paris. So COP is held every year. And in this Paris COP meeting, Paris Agreement was made. This is a very important agreement. And 2022, last year, COP27 was held in Egypt. Okay, so COP is held every year. Okay, and every time they discussed the climate change, they discussed the global warming, and they discussed sustainable development. So let's look at these two goals. First, MDGs, Millennium Development Goals, appeared in 2001. And MDGs covered 15 years from 2001 to 2015. But as I said before, not all the goals were achieved. So SDGs were created, or SDGs appeared in 2015, 7 years ago, or 8 years ago now. So these SDGs will cover 15 years from 2015 to 2030. Okay? So from MDGs to SDGs, please remember this flow. MDGs to SDGs. This is a very important thing to remember. Okay? So the message of this video is this. SDGs did not appear all of a sudden, not suddenly. And SDGs came from MDGs. MDGs first, SDGs next. And the United Nations is learning the lessons. They are learning, and they are trying to be better. They hold a lot of conferences to discuss and make this world a better place. Okay? So this is the first video about understanding the SDGs, an interpreter's take. 1, what came before SDGs. Okay? Did you understand? I hope you understood. Thank you very much. And please look forward to the next video as well. Thank you. Bye-bye.